So let's talk about zines. I know I have mentioned them in a couple of videos now, and I haven't gone fully and directly into how to make zines and some of the zines that I have made. So how about we do that in this video? So first off, what is a zine? A zine is a collection of works that is either appropriated images or images that people have created themselves and put into a small print format that they can publish themselves. You will see either individuals doing it or a collection of people making these works for small publishing. And these are a way of sharing counterculture ideas, being expressive in an easy to trade format with the masses without it being overwhelming or too much of a investment. The easiest way to do it is through, usually through a copy machine or through something called rotograph printing, I believe it's called. And some people even get their zines printed through self-publishing companies that do small-time printing, sort of similar to how like a sticker printing company or a flyer printing company does. And you can see that zines can be flyers or they can be books. Essentially, it's a play on the word magazine. While magazines are made to be big published, their zines are like small published. The most common way that you'll see zines made is in a single page format like this, where you have a single cut down the center and it folds up into this book, this little 8-page booklet. I will be showing you how to make these later on in the video, so stay tuned. The form of zine that you'll commonly see is the saddle stitch form. Essentially, that is where you have a bunch of different pictures pulled together and stapled down the center. This one's a smaller form of a saddle stitch binding, and it is also something common. I remember making something like this when I was in elementary school, maybe even probably kindergarten, yeah. And you'll see a lot of this, and these is just a great way of sharing your artwork and being able to get ideas out into the world that you can trade with people. So what does that mean for you and me? Well, for onesies, zines have been an incredible way for me to be able to create a story and share it with with other people without feeling the pressure that I've come to associate with creating artwork to share with people, especially having worked in the animation industry, especially having worked on making my art sell. There's a lot of pressure that comes with that made a lot of the joy lose from the artwork, especially since there's a lot of like, oh, things have to look a certain way, oh, things have to be a certain way. And I do enjoy that process to a degree, and I also just want to be a little bit more playful with my stories. I don't always want to have something to be a finished, polished, wet product. And this allows me to finish something that is not polished and still accessible to share with other people. You'll commonly see a lot of artists share their sketchbook sketches in zine format, and since I have over 50 sketchbooks, I thought it would be a great idea to scan all of my sketchbooks in and make them into zines available for you to purchase, for you to have for yourself and all of this. And in going through and doing this, I actually found that I have quite a bit of like small time comics that I've drawn, like these one-off things that are perfect for this little 8-page format. So I'm pulling that together, and then I've done like 24-hour comics, I've done little things with my mom's poetry, and made those into little booklets. There's a lot of stuff that I've done and I've never shared, and this is an easy way for me to share that. Speaking of, let me share with you the zines that I've made. I've made several different zines so far, and I thought it would be nice to go over some of them. First up is my Inktober 2015. This is a collection of the kawaii critters, specifically Kawakuma, that I did, and they're just these little doodles of him in different costumes, and I thought it was very fun to share this. I had originally made these little booklets for sale when I was doing conventions. Right now I'm not really going and vending at conventions, so they're just something I have for fun around. I also have my Inktober 2018. I tried to keep up with Inktober for a very long time. This one is in a very different style than what I did for the kawaii critters and Kawakuma. I have all of these drawings that I did to redo my old sketchbook, my very first sketchbook, in something that I would be proud of when I originally started drawing. So you have all of these kind of creepy and like very detailed pictures of some of the characters that I drew when I was younger. Next up, we have my visual language guide, A Non-Artist Way to Visually Thinking. This is a collection of things that I've learned for journaling and for taking notes. That's just a very good, like, handy, quick guide. I had specifically made this for when I went on a Disney cruise. It's like this little exchange thing that you can do when on cruises. And I was giving away little envelopes to remember, to help people like write notes about their experience so that they could mail it to themselves, and I even included a little stamp in there. I have my Seasons of Bliss. This one I made to get to practice doing collages. I'm not very good at it. It's not something I usually do a lot of, and being able to just have the patience to go through a bunch of different magazines and pull things that help inspire me to make something together, and then putting them all on one page or on all in one piece is very helpful. And I loved to include these kind of like wispy smoke bits, and that was inspired by this one here of how the smoke was coming out of the oven with the turkey and the pie. I think this was like from a Thanksgiving page or something. Maybe a month to put this together. It was a very interesting experience. I loved that it helped me slow down and not be in a rush to try and make everything perfect, and just slowly piece it together as I was willing to, and as I was just exploring, and then having a quote from a friend to tie this all together was very fun. These two zines are inspired by The Artist's Way. I have talked about it before. I was working through it very diligently for a couple of months. I did fall off of it because of stress in my life, but I would like to get back to it again. Essentially what I did was I took some of the quotes and things that I found really interesting in the book and put them into a little zine so I can remember them, and to use it as a way of like encouraging me to explore some of the things that is blocking my creativity, the things that is stopping me from creating and just getting them out of my system. Your inner monster hall of fame, and this is skepticism versus creative recovery, because I feel like because of how society and capitalism is, we are constantly in a state of creative recovery to undo the blockage that has stopped us from doing the things that we want to do or like distract us. And her words was very insightful here. She gets very wordy in the book, and so this consolidates a lot of what she was talking about, and I liked that. Second to last zine is actually from a video on YouTube. that is the Journaling Systems That Changed My Life by Strothless. This is a very good video, and he had a lot of really good things to say about the vomit journaling system. And I just wanted to put all of the things that he said into an easy and quick guide for myself. Different ways of journaling, so when I get bored with the type of journaling I'm doing at that time, I can come and look at this and be like, which one sounds like something I want to do that day. So there's a bunch of different types of things where it could be your day-to-day or your overall big goals, or just retraining your brain, reframing things, doing different kinds of problem solving, or just getting all of the feelings out on page, or taking all of the stuff that's jumbled in my head and putting it down on paper. And I loved his idea. Definitely a video you should go check out, and I'll make sure to include it in the links below. For the last of the different zines that I have, this is the smallest version of it, but I've made several of them. This is less so of a zine that I would want to like share with other people, and more so something that I have as reference for myself. Hold on. One of the things that I always struggle with is creating unique expressions for the different characters that I've created and have. And my idea was to take note cards, different eyes put on one of the note cards, and the different mouths put on the other. You see this in like kids books. I remember seeing that there was an art book like this at one point, and these are just a little big, too big to like carry around, so I made a pocket version of that. And this was when I was really into drawing fangs and teeth. So I wanted to draw the different fangs and teeth, my mouths that he put together. Like these two look like this guy's in pain. Or you got some very weird faces you can make with some of these, like yawning, some angry eyebrows, some very funky mouths, and I love that. It's just a very fun way of doing and having zines made that I might make more of to share with people. Mostly these are things I've pulled from Pinterest. If you like them, I will make little books like this for other people for you to download and print out yourself, or to sell if I make them. But if they're for download, I'll make them probably for free. I don't think that this is something that needs to be gate kept. Now that you've seen some of the zines that I've made, let me show you how to do that 8-page fold format. Mini zines are made with a single sheet of paper, so here's a quick look at the instructions of how to cut and fold this particular project. I'm making mine out of 18 by 12 sketchbook paper, but you can do this with regular 11 by 8 paper. First, you're going to fold the paper in half and then fold it in half again until you have 4 sections, and then you're going to fold in the middle of each of those sections, so that way it makes it easier to see the pages. You cut down the center and then you fold that again to make the 8 pages. I like using this bigger paper so that way I can have more space to draw on the pages, giving me a lot of space to write things and put in more detail if I want to. With this being my new obsession, you are absolutely going to see more zines coming your way, especially as I make more TTRPG things to share with people, specifically like playing through solo adventuring and making up stories with that, and just like things that I draw. I am constantly making up stories, and I don't always finish them. Sometimes I just like little one-offs. And so I think making zines and just having this anthology format is just really good for me. I hope you enjoyed this. I am looking forward to making more of these and sharing more of my zine experience. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and like this video. And I will catch you all soon. Thanks so much for joining me.